What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Hot Seat. Today, I'm sitting down with Randy. We're going to talk about how he's using the Playbook feature of Tradezella. If you are not already using the Playbook feature, this video is going to motivate you to do so. Once you see the value that you can get from tracking these statistics behind your entries that you're taking, you're never going to be able to go back. Hopefully, you'll dive deep down the rabbit hole and get even more specialized in your trading, and that'll make you even more money. So enjoy this episode. And again, if you are not a user of Tradezella, please use the discount link and the code in the description below. Saves you a fuck ton of money, bro. All right, guys, I am sitting down with Randy. Today, we're going to talk about the playbook section of Tradezella. This is something that I'm pushing all of our guys to use, and I want to use Randy as an example today to talk about why that is. It's one thing if you see me doing it, it can seem very tedious, but now that you can hopefully hear from one of our BlackShirtClub guys and hear the impact that it's had on him already, hopefully that'll motivate you guys to do the same thing. So, Randy, you ready for this, bro? How you feeling? I know you're a little sick, so I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah. So we started what was this? A week and a half ago when
Yeah, yeah, last Wednesday.
Yep. And you took Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go through all of your trades. How far back did you go?
I went back to July, basically just before I started trading my XFAs.
Got it. So
So
the thought was get as much data as I can in the futures trading with the standard that I've kind of been holding myself to since the start of the summer, midsummer.
true. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
started trading my XFAs differently than I traded my college. July is when I had kind of a bit of a pivot in my trading, and I kind
What
of
was the
felt like
pivot?
I got to that next level of reading levels and to look for my entries and exits where, the first 6 months of the year, I've never traded before. I was spending a lot of time even just learning and just understanding the market and the chart. So I thought as I look back, July was like, I'd looked at my DRCs and it was actually a good pivot point for where I was in growth and kind of where I feel like July to today, I'm still in that bucket, but not as much as I was in July. So
Coming
it's
out of the bucket a little bit?
yeah,
Maybe we need a better analogy or something.
yeah, or like the door open, door close thing, right? Like it
Exactly.
was,
Yeah. The door frame.
I opened the door in July, and now
Yep.
I can see myself coming through the door. So
So part of coming through the door with our program always is niching down, getting more specific, getting more specialized. For the initial thought here, tell us, tell everybody what we're looking at, and then let's talk about how you feel already this has helped you get more specialized.
so basically, I wanted to go through after because I think Austin, you and I had a coaching call, and we noticed I was taking good entries, but I was taking a lot of different entries. And then it would get to a point where either I'd micromanage the trade or I would just not have the greatest entry and lose confidence in it. But anyways, it was more or less let's shorten this down to your best entries. And to me, prior to doing this, I thought every entry I took was my best entry because there's always going to be a setup. Always. We can open the chart right now and you and I can pick a setup out for sure, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's long or short. There's something there presenting itself.
Yep.
The probabilities of that trade is now where we're having your best your playbook done. So then the higher probability trades that you're good at identifying, you're going to catch those moves versus trying to play five lower probability trades.
100%. And I think what this should show people too is like you do a back test on a strategy, it might perform at 70% or whatever, 60%. But what are you going to execute that strategy as, right? There's variables every day that try to throw us off. This is like your own quote unquote back testing, if you would, to say like, well, what entries am I actually trading better? Yeah, momentum plays might be a 50% win rate for some people, but for you, they're an 85% win rate. So now, as we had our first session on all of this data, you and I started to talk about, well, how do we read this, right? Like if we look at something like this, which is a mid-range trade, you've made $1,800, almost $1,900 over 55 trades, which to me, still could, of course, gather more data, but 61, 62% win rate, 1.2 profit factor. This is probably one of those entries that you look at and you say, I probably want to keep trading that. You know what I mean? Versus something like, let's just say, for example, this opening range low break, you're down 1,000, only 11 trades, but still 36% win rate, 0.27 profit factor. So Tradezella gives us a really good picture of like how well are you actually trading that entry signal, even if it's your favorite entry signal, right? So now what have you taken from this, Randy, and what are you doing like going into next week with some of this data?
So now actually we talked about this. This was just I don't know, like yeah, this is just the beginning for me of this playbook because now I'm realizing as I go through this, I can have multiple things happen on the chart for me to have an entry, and I have to, redefine this a little bit better. But I want to be looking at, my mid-range New York VWAP bounces, which normally we don't, it's trading the middle of the range is not an easy trade.
No.
Uh, that's where, but at the same time, I feel like I'm comfortable trading middle of the range. And if you have
Yep.
that comfortability, then, and it obviously works in my favor. So I'm reading those trades. I'm reading those trades better than the rest of my entries.
Yep.
And then basically, and then like a high a day VWAP break is another one I noticed. What I noticed when I did my playbook is I focused in real time. If I look back in hindsight, I was focusing on the losers way too much, saying this entry signal I'm using it wrong, where it wasn't the entry signal. It was actually myself at the desk that morning wanting to force a trade, rush a trade. It had
Yep.
nothing to do with the high day VWAP break. If I waited 5 more minutes, it would have told me to not be in the trade or to be in the trade where I just couldn't, I didn't have the patience.
Yep. 100%. So
So,
that
so
that is a good secondary benefit from doing this for sure. What were you gonna say?
no, I was just going to say now moving forward, I know my entries that I want and my top three, but I just have to now instill some patience where I've watched some of the guys in the group, Thomas, Tanner, and Ryan, I think specifically last week. I took a high day VWAP break. They waited 10 more minutes and price came down another 10 points. And then they took it on the way back up. And they were in and out of the trade while I was sitting in chop, still at break even.
Yep.
So it
So
just goes to show the patience, right? And the entry was right.
100%. The entry is right. Exactly. It's just is the wrong timing. Right. Well, I think too, you get a clear sense of like what's hurting you when you do this exercise. Right. So even everybody, if you're watching this and you're going to just start doing this going forward, it'll take a couple of months to gather data because even this, we could still do more data. But like, look at the win rate here 36 and 34% on these two at the bottom, which is the opening range low break for shorts and the low of day VWAP hold for long. So a counter trend long trade, 29 of them, not making you money. So it becomes super easy to say, yeah, I'm not going to take these ones that are hurting me. These ones that I'm kind of making money, I'm kind of doing well. I might take some of those and still try to gather data because, like you said, the entry could still be right. It might just be you that day. So you would still want to, I think, take some of those trades. But then now you're getting a clear picture of like what trades should we be bigger in. Previous day VWAP bounce, crushing it, 75% win rate. Not great on the net P&L, but it's only 16 trades. Same thing with New York VWAP. 3 trades, not a ton of trades, but super profitable for you. One of the most profitable ones on here. High of day VWAP break, the most data we have, and still 60% win rate, and it puts you up 3 grand. So like it gives us a clear direction of what do we want to do more and what do we want to do less. That's what this says to me too.
Oh, I agree.
Cool. All right, Randy, this is easy, bro. Thank you. Anything else you want to share with the group about doing the playbook section in Tradezella?
So
Any
I just think,
advice?
yeah, I would just, like Austin said, if you're not already doing it and you don't have the time to go back, first of all, you can make the time to go
Yep.
back and do it. Everybody,
Yep.
we have time. This is the reason we're doing this training is to make more time in our lives,
Yep.
to go back and to do it. But if not, just start now. And even I'm going to start playbooking my trades every day just so it's done. But every quarter, I'm going to do a review. I might even do a monthly review of my playbook and
Yeah.
just go through and see how I'm sticking to those entries. Are they working better? Like I'm gonna even filter it like zoom out and then super zoom in.
Yep.
And I was telling Austin I printed off those 238 trades on paper, and now I'm gonna go through each and every one and kind of remember my playbook and kind of just have a different look at it versus just focusing on my entries. Now I'm gonna look at what did the chart do at this time? What happened in the first 2 hours of market open? And where was my entry? Did it fit into that first 2 hours of market open? Because I was telling Austin, I want to trade only, maybe the first 3 hours of the market, and that's it. That's
Yep.
my one of my goals.
Yep.
And
And
I'm get yeah, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say you got me reminiscing on the good old days, taping up the charts all over the office. So when you come in the morning, do a quick scan.
And you can see them, right? So it's crazy. I have like it's like a massive stack of papers, and
Yep.
it's I'm looking forward to it. This playbook exercise, reignited the passion, the excitement for this. Like I'm excited to do this exercise now with these charts. And
100%.
when you feel that excitement, it just reaffirms why you're here and why we're doing this and what the goal is, the bigger picture, right? And eventually I'll
100%.
get there. And I'm just on the journey, right? That's all. So
100%. Thanks, Randy. You are the man,
cheers.
bro.
No worries,
Cool.
Allison. Cheers, bro.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully this helps. We'll see you guys in the next one.